Southern Texas, February 8th through 20th. Day 2 begins with a tour of the National World War I Museum and Memorial, the nation's only public museum dedicated to World War I, with a large collection of photos, weapons, and more. In the afternoon, you'll have a guided tour of the Precious Moments Chapel, which is filled with colorful murals inspired by the Precious Moments figurines. Day 3, we arrive in Oklahoma and explore the Oklahoma City National Memorial Museum at your leisure. This memorial is dedicated to remembering those who were killed, those who survived, and those changed forever by the 1995 bombing. Day 4, you learn the details of the world-altering event of JFK's assassination at the 6th Floor Museum. You'll continue on to Daley Plaza and the Kennedy Memorial, located just steps from where JFK was assassinated. In the afternoon, you'll have a self-guided tour of the George W. Bush Presidential Center, which includes both the Presidential Library and Museum and allows you to fully immerse yourself in the history of the presidency of George W. Bush. In Houston, you have a guided tour of the Sam Houston Memorial Museum. This museum is dedicated to the life of Sam Houston, an American soldier and politician. Following lunch, there's a guided tour of the Texas Prison Museum. This museum offers an intriguing glimpse into the lives of the state's imprisoned citizens and those who guarded them. Your final activity of the day is a visit to a Hindu temple. Experience a Hindu temple with traditional architecture and exhibits on their religion's history. Day 6 begins at the Space Center Houston, highlighting all eras of U.S. space travel with over 400 things to see and do, including the Starship Gallery, guided NASA tram tour, the Astronaut Gallery, the International Space Station Gallery, and so much more. The afternoon of Day 6, you'll enjoy a guided private Baywatch dolphin tour and view the dolphins in their natural habitat. You can't be next to the ocean without having an included delicious seafood dining experience.
Howdy folks, welcome to San Antonio.
Everything's bigger in Texas, and in the Lone Star State, it doesn't get more huge than San Antonio. Over 20 million history buffs, fun seekers, and would-be cowboys stampede San Antonio each year, making it the most visited city in Texas and one of America's top tourist destinations. Remember the Alamo? It's impossible to forget here in the heartland of Texan rebellion. More than 2 million visitors a year pay their respects to Davy Crockett and other patriots who fought for independence from Mexico here in 1836.
Later, we'll visit the Tower of the Americas, including the observation deck and 4D theater ride for a sky-high view of San Antonio.
Day 8 begins with an iconic Rio San Antonio river cruise, where your guide will entertain you with stories from the rich history of San Antonio. In Waco, you'll have free time to explore and shop at Magnolia Market at the Silos, made famous by Chip and Joanna Gaines from the television show Fixer Upper. A visit to the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame and Museum will give you an appreciation for the legendary symbol of Texas in the American West. You'll then have a guided classic Waco tour, which includes the Brazos River, Chisholm Trail, and Baylor University, just to name a few. This tour also includes driving by some of the homes that were featured on Fixer Upper. Day 10 starts with a roar as you visit the Fort Worth Zoo, featuring over 7,000 native and exotic animals and named the top zoo in the nation by Family Life magazine, the LA Times, and USA Today. After lunch, you'll have an authentic Fort Worth tour that'll cover the history of the city, starting from a lonely outpost on the western frontier to the major cosmopolitan city it is today. Watch as dollars are printed from an enclosed walkway suspended above the production floor at the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. Over half of the nation's currency is printed right here in Fort Worth. Following lunch, explore the Oklahoma National Stockyard City, home to shops that specialize in all things Western, great restaurants, and the iconic Oklahoma National Stockyards. Day 12, you arrive in Kansas and enjoy a guided tour of the Museum of World Treasures. Experience a trip through time as you view real dinosaurs, ancient civilization exhibits, including 2 Egyptian mummies, military history exhibits, frontier exhibits, and more. Enjoy a guided tram tour of the Kansas
Step in, be
Underground
careful
Salt
of the
Museum.
gap there. Be ready for the wind or the air. Air circulating out of the mine.
We're the only one in the Western Hemisphere that you can actually go into a salt mine and tour. That is not something that is generally offered.
You're arriving 650 feet under the Kansas prairie. Temperature is 68 degrees, and in the museum area, 40 to 45% relative humidity year-round.
Underground, to me, is very calming, very quiet, gives you a chance to collect yourself and relax and enjoy history. Who knew that inside my number counting brain that I liked history, but it's pretty awesome.
And you can actually look like you're slaving away in the salt mine.
But imagine filling these by hand, breaking up rocks small enough that you can get them that high into an ore car. No, thank you.
Here's a drill hole that you can actually look down into. We're a museum that you can touch some items, you can watch some items, and you can experience some of the items.
The other business in the mine is underground vaults and storage. We cannot take you to their facility. It's very secure for their clients, but they do have an exhibit for you to come and see. They store predominantly for Hollywood, lots of movies, television series, and for this exhibit, they've been able to procure costumes, props from Hollywood. This one happens to be from Charlie's Angels. This was the fire suit for Cameron Diaz. Total mine darkness is when there is no light to allow your eyes to focus. They continually try to focus. And we do that so that people get an idea of what it would be like to be a miner and to lose their power, their light source, whatever. A true miner can find their way out of the mine in the dark by following the floor pattern and the patterns on the wall. I'm not there. I would need some help.
So join us for our Southern Texas tour February 8th through 20th as we explore a state so big and diverse that at one time it was actually a nation of its own.